I found over the last few years that I was missing a lot of bites fishing the bread on the hook. But what I've decided to do now is to take up what carp anglers do, and that's to hair rig it. And I'll show you how I do this. Take a slice of bread, usually a thick cut bread, take 2 or 3 pieces, and I don't punch them out, I just pull them out from the bread, okay, squash them a little bit, okay. I get my baited needle and I just push it into the back like so, and then push that through the bread, and I've got a nice hair rig piece of bread here. And then I will fill the feeder with liquidized bread. I don't actually make it too fine, and I also add some hemp to the bread purely because it leaves the hemp on the deck while the bread gets washed away downstream, and if chub move in, they'll stay a bit longer, and I've always got some on the deck. So there's the feeder. It's not a cage feeder, it's an open-ended feeder, so it actually releases the bread while on the bottom. And today we've got like 45 grams today. The main line is £6, and the hook length is 0.20, and I got a size 8 super specialist hook with the barb pushed down. So I'm going to have a check with this now. I normally chuck straight in front of me so the feeder doesn't bounce too much. I tend to have the rod rest slightly facing downstream. I put a nice bow into the line, and then basically I get a bite. They're virtually hooked themselves. I tend to look for drop backs. You don't even have to strike sometimes like you do with normal bread fishing. With a 3-ounce tip, which I find is quite adequate for this sort of fishing. And at the same time, while I'm fishing the Thames, I tend to, as you can see, my hands are slightly bronze, which is turmeric. I like to feed the inside line with a bit of hemp and maggot, pick up the stick float or the waggler during the day, and sometimes there's always might be 1 or 2 chub actually laying on my stick float line. This particular method, fishing the bread, hair rigging, I've had chub recently up to over £6 on this, and I think the last 15 fish I've caught, I've had 17 bites, missed 1 bite, 1 chub came off the hook, and the rest I've netted. So it's such a good method. And I remember years ago, I'd be fishing the bread and I'd miss maybe 3 bites out of 7 traditional way of hooking it. So hair rigging for chub on the Thames with bread is the way to go. I don't have a bite, you know.